Welcome into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you live and local inside our Family Leisure Studios. Landon Schmidt producing. We're with you for the next 3 hours and a ton to get into this afternoon. A very busy weekend around the city of Memphis, around the sports world, and a very busy Monday around the city of Memphis, around the sports world. I thought we were going to come in here and break down the AAC, going from the acronym to just the American and a new mascot, but instead other things took place this afternoon, and the University of Memphis has made a big pitch to try to join the Big 12. We will talk a ton about that over the next 3 hours, but before we get into any of that, how you doing this afternoon, Brett? How was your weekend?
It was great, Brian. Good to be with you. And you're so right. The last 3 hours have been a hurricane, a lot of news. First thing I want to say is some of the people out there talking about worst kept secret and everybody knew this. Well, why didn't you report it?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's a good question. I mean,
because nobody there hadn't been the first tweet, the first syllable written about Memphis and a really nice offer to the Big 12. And now it's kind of, by some, not by all, but by some, of worst kept secret. Nobody knew this was going on. And now for the Big 12 to pretty rapidly shoot it down, or reported very rapidly that it's been shot down. They may have gave the news 2 weeks ago, for all I know. But why in the world, never mind, I don't know if you can ever never mind $200 million.
Yeah.
But to be that linked with Lowe's and with FedEx, vis-a-vis, that would come AutoZone and other great companies and businesses in and around Memphis in a time in college sports where you're trying to get your hands on every single red cent you can find, and then the red cent aspect of it, I don't know how many cents to equal $200 million. And the Big 12 kicked sand in the Tigers' faces years ago when everybody involved, university side, administration side, sports side, and around town, those that know, movers, shakers, that don't pass along bad information, Tigers are in. And that was just a deal for FedEx to be sponsor of the Big 12 championship football game. This goes leaps and bounds above that, and by all reporting now, rebuffed by the Big 12. They want to stay at 16. And what it does for the Tigers is it really, yes, you should give a lot of credence to and applause to Ed Scott and the administration, Dr. Hargrave, all the people that were involved in this, and of course to FedEx and to Lowe's and to all the people that were going to help financially. But now you've showed your cards, and the ACC can come along. 200 Big 12, 250 for us. Yeah. And where are you finding another 50 that fast? Or another 5 for that matter?
Yeah, no, I mean it's a good question, and I mean, but at this point, I think you're very clearly, I mean, you're desperately trying to get out of this conference, and you're doing whatever you feel like you have to do to get out there. And, if that means, you're going to, that news is going to be out there that you're offering $200 million, then I think that's just something that you're going to have to deal with. And, we'll cross the bridge when you get to it if that means another conference sees your cards and wants to up the ante. Because, I mean, it's very clear, and like you said, you got to give them a lot of credit. The administration, the athletic department is being very aggressive of trying to make a move and get somewhere other than the American.
Yeah, and that should be applauded. But I know but it's a fine line between being applauded and hanging a banner for, plucky effort.
Sure, yeah.
But because now I'm afraid the next few days, PR-wise, will not be kind. And whatever conference that comes along now, whether it's some fashion of the Pac-10, Pac-12, whatever it is, well, then now they know. Sure. We're not taking $199.
Sure, yeah. Well, I mean, I think you tell the Pac-12 you're not the Big 12. I mean, I don't think that's apples to apples.
I agree, but do they know that?
No, but you've already turned them down once, so I mean you can turn them down again. I mean, they were the desperate ones at a time, and now I think things have changed because they've gotten that football member. But this feels like Memphis is being desperate to try to join a power conference with that type of pitch, and I don't think that would be the same for the Pac-12. A non
it just can't be
power conference.
But what about ACC? And there's not many conferences left.
No, I mean that's the thing. But I mean, I think the one way or the other, I think the ACC would have probably learned about your pitch to the Big 12, whether this became big national news or not. And so I mean, you probably would have been dealing with the same exact thing either way, whether we all knew about the news or it was stayed behind closed doors. I think that information would get out one way or the other.
And on the competition front, if it had been successful and you gotten in, bring it on in both sports. We don't know how future scheduling is going to be, but Baylor, Utah, Iowa State, Arizona State, Kansas State, Texas Tech, TCU, BYU, Cincinnati, Kansas, Houston, UCF, Colorado, Oklahoma State, Arizona, West Virginia. Bring it on in football and basketball. I don't know about the other sports.
Sure.
Somebody else can hash that out.
Yeah, no, I mean it certainly would have given a spark to your conference slate and the teams coming in to the city to play, and I think that would have meant better attendance for all these events. So I mean, yeah, I would have loved it, and would have been some really competitive games, but unfortunately the news looks like that isn't gonna be the case now.
And same song, 29th verse about the Big 12. Okay, maybe certainly not football, especially with the, I think, pared down too small Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. But to have your postseason basketball tournament at FedEx Forum, and again, that relationship with FedEx at a time where everybody's doing anything to get their hand on the next cent.
Yeah, and we're going to talk.
That's an independent group, isn't it?
Sure is. That's exactly right. We're going to talk to David Cobb at 4:00, and we'll talk a lot about this. But he had a tweet earlier this afternoon, quote tweeting the Ross Dellinger story, and it said, "Increasing distribution to your members while adding a school with good basketball with good football and men's basketball, plus getting into a new media market. What's the downside here for the Big 12?" I think it's a good question. I mean, with everything that was at least offered according to Ross Dellinger's story, I mean, it felt like a huge win-win for both sides. I mean, the Big 12 is getting all of this money and everything from Memphis. Memphis is saying that, hey, if this isn't working by 2030, y'all can easily kick us out of the conference. And, Big 12 still saying, it's not good enough for us. We don't want you.
It was the most no harm, no foul, one-way favorable deal that you'll ever see. Mm-hmm. And it didn't happen. When it first broke, 12:45-ish or so, if somebody said, in or out, Brett, you got to make a bet, I would have bet in for this reason. This is how it happens. You don't get really a big, long runway warning shot. You just wake up and that tweet's out there. Like Texas and OU joining in summer of 2021 at SEC Media Days. You don't really get the warning. It just boom, there it is. And I was thinking, here we go. This may be, and I was prepared to say this, and I will stay prepared to say it whenever the news happens. If it's ACC or Big 12, if it's not Big 12, I don't think Big 12 is ever going to happen after today. So I guess next is ACC. If it happens, when it happens, second biggest sports story in history, Memphis, only second to Memphis finally being in the major leagues in the news. Vancouver's moving to the Grizzlies to Memphis. I was ready to say that. And I texted someone with a lot of Big 12 contacts, and he said, he asked me, "You think Memphis can whip enough votes to join the Big 12? I sure hope so. What do you think, and how close is it really?" He responded, "Not close today, but tomorrow it could be, because money talks and you know what walks." And he said, "You know what walks." He didn't use the term. And he also said, "Brett Yormark wants UConn for basketball so bad, this could be a path for them to have two great basketball products." Brian, I cannot be held responsible for what I do or say if they let UConn in over Memphis.
Well, yeah. But hey, Brett Yormark has made it very clear that he would be completely fine. I mean, what was it? Before Gonzaga went Pac-12, I mean, he was all in. I shouldn't say they, because I think it was really just him.
Because he's a basketball guy first.
And he was all in on let's get Gonzaga, let's get UConn, both, let's just basketball only, and let's bring him into the Big 12, and that didn't work out, and now, very clearly, he is still all on board of getting UConn to the Big 12. So, look, as much as I want to say I wouldn't buy that, I think there's always a possibility that could happen.
And Brett Yormark, from the agent world, mostly representing NBA basketball players, he's very much a basketball guy, and Memphis, helps immediately in both sports. I think Memphis, if the news was today, Memphis is in. I think short term it helps football more. It would have helped football more.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen Memphis against last 2 years in bowl games. Memphis has played Big 12 teams and won both of them, and I think beat Iowa State, and then the next year they were in the conference championship. So they played some pretty good Big 12 teams and had good success against it. Yeah. I mean, I think it helps both sports. I think they'd be somewhat competitive in both sports. It certainly wouldn't be easy, but yeah, I think it would help. But this story from Ross Dellinger, I mean, just so many good things in there about kind of what Memphis was doing behind the scenes, things along the lines of Memphis athletics. One thing that jumped out to me, this quote from Ross Dellinger: Memphis' lucrative membership proposal to the Big 12 follows more than a year of an aggressive lobbying effort from the school's president, Bill Hargrave, who has met individually with more than half of the Big 12 presidents and top athletic administrators. And then pretty much immediately following that, in Ross Dellinger's story, there was a quote from a Big 12 administrator that said, quote, "We vetted Memphis when we added the other four, Cincinnati, UCF, Houston, and BYU, and chose not to add them. What changed now?" So that was not that was certainly someone who would have voted against Memphis being in the Big 12.
Again, I want to try my best to remain positive and give applause to that effort.
Yeah.
So 16 schools in the Big 12. That means 16 chancellors, presidents, whatever, running the school.
Yep.
16 ADs, and it says that Dr. Hargrave visited with 6.
It just says more than half. So I
More
would
than
say
half.
more than 6, but that could be 7. I mean, I don't know what that number is.
Okay, and I know he's got a school to run. He can't constantly be selling conference realignment. That should have been 16.
Should have been. Yeah. No.
And you got to go to every one of them until they throw you out.
Yeah.
And it would have taken 12 votes. Well, let's say it was more than half. Well, that would be out of 16. More than half would be 9, then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be 9. You're right. Yeah.
All right. Well, you just need, if all 9 was for it, you need 3 more.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to go to you, like this person said, you whip the votes and you have them in hand. But I do applaud the effort.
Oh, absolutely.
But let's don't confuse effort with results.
No. But I mean, it's very clear that they are trying, and it's kind of an all hands on deck effort to get to a different conference, and you gotta absolutely applaud it and give them a lot of credit for going out there and doing what they have to do to try to turn this into something. Maybe it does turn into something, maybe it doesn't, and we still wait to see if that happens. And who knows if it will. But a lot of good stuff. We'll talk most of the rest of the show about this and this story. I thought a funny comment on Twitter under the Ross Dellinger story. Someone commented and said, "Throw in some rendezvous ribs, and that might push the deal across the goal line." It might be a good idea. Go out there and get some rendezvous ribs to all the schools in the Big 12, and that might be what does it. But a very busy show today. Let me set it up before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, we'll talk more about this news. The Tigers' big push, they called it a no-risk concept for the Big 12 to add Memphis. We'll talk about this effort by the Memphis Tigers and pretty much immediately shot down from everybody in the Big 12, that the sources, at least, that people are getting from the sources have turned this down very quickly. We'll talk about that more at 3:30. 3:45, we'll talk some Major League Baseball. 4 o'clock, David Cobb from CBS Sports, where he covers college football and college basketball. He'll join us. We will talk a lot about this, but we'll also talk about a lot of other news going on. I mentioned it last week, but David Cobb last week put out his first bracketology over at CBS Sports. Did not have the Memphis Tigers in that bracketology, had USF in instead, so we'll get his thoughts on that. What made him put USF in over Memphis? 4:30, John Kurtz, who covers the Big 12 for KC Sports Network. He's going to join us. We'll talk more about this news, about Memphis's efforts to get in the Big 12 and what happened. What is the reasoning that the Big 12 is pushing against Memphis joining the conference? 4:45, we get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Joe Tomek, the executive director of the FedEx St. Jude Championship. He'll join us. We'll talk about the upcoming tournament. Joe's going to join us every Monday through tournament week, so we will be talking to Joe a lot, very frequently. We'll talk with him about 15 minutes. After that, we will talk about everything that happened over the weekend in the Open Championship. Scotty Scheffler, he does it again, wins, makes it look easy out there over the weekend. We'll talk about that to wrap up 5 o'clock. 5:30, we'll get to what's trending, and at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Mo's Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. And right now, Family Leisure needs your help to clear out their warehouse. All in-stock patio furniture up to 60% off. And 4-piece deep seating sets only $999. Chase lounges are buy one, get one half off, and all Polywood furniture now 20 to 30% off. If you go out to Family Leisure and buy that outdoor dining table, get a free umbrella with purchase. And don't forget about the special financing only available at Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40.
We are Sports Time, and we're with you until 6 o'clock, and we want you to be a part of our show by texting or calling at the Sissy's Log Cabin text and talk line 901-360-8255. All our guests will join us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line at 901-360-8255, produced by Landon Schmidt. We are Sports Time. He's Bryant. I'm Brett. Please shout at us. We're always in our Family Leisure Studios where it is nice and cool and comfortable today on one of the steamiest days of the summer. Family Leisure always makes it cool and comfortable for you and for us. This hour brought to you by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all the 2025 models and always special leasing options. You can drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Give them a call at 901-334-9673, but stop by the one and only Lexus dealership in town at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of that all-new 2025 flagship LS500. You'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury and safe driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, I was prepared for my top story to talk about Soar, the Eagle, the new mascot for the American Conference, not the AAC anymore. But I had to pivot and change it because this news is way bigger than a mascot coming to the American. Ross Dellinger reporting the news earlier this afternoon, like Brett said. About 12:45 or so, Ross Dellinger put out the story, quote, "In the most lucrative membership proposal in college sports history, Memphis has made a $200 million offer to enter the Big 12, sources tell Yahoo Sports. For now, it does not have enough support, but potentially sets a standard for future expansion." Under that, he said that Memphis proposal is described as a no-risk concept. The school would, 1, take zero distribution for 5 years, 2, add in sponsorships as much as $3 million annually to each Big 12 school's coffers, and 3, subject itself to expulsion after 2030 if Big 12 deems it is not adding value. Ross Dellinger, the first to report this story, but after that, a lot of other people that cover college football adding on to this, and very quickly we learned that the Big 12 did not have much interest in Memphis's lucrative offer, and even got to the point where Amanda Kristovich from Front Office Sports reported that the proposal for Memphis to join the Big 12 didn't even reach a vote. And a quote that she got from someone within the Big 12 said, quote, "It was clear relatively quickly the interest wasn't there." So what happens now? Brett mentioned that now you've shown your cards to everybody else in terms of other conferences. What does this mean? Do you pivot to the ACC and try to pitch it to them? Do you pivot back to the Pac-12 and try to get something going with them? On the flip side of that, now the American knows, and I think they've already known, but now the American knows you want nothing to do with them, even after they've given you a mascot.
Good. I want them to know
the
it.
Eagle, but definitely not great news.
Here's what you can do with Soar.
Can finish that?
No.
Too early on a Monday to finish that. Maybe you wait till 5 o'clock, and then we might you might have different words. But not great news for Tiger Athletics getting getting quickly shot down by the Big 12.
When I heard shortening to the American, I like that. Most commonly use that instead of saying AAC or the American Athletic Conference. I thought of my good friend Ron Tillery, who for years would needle when the Tigers were in Conference USA. He would call it Conference America. He's getting more and more right with every name change.
Incredible.
And it used to infuriate people that today would say the same thing that I'm saying about the American and Soar. Hey, go stick it, American and Soar, what by any name
Soar
that you go by.
doesn't deserve that. Brett, Soar's been around for what? Not even 12 hours yet.
Well, Soar's taking a lot of random shots, isn't he?
Sure is.
And you can't shoot a bald eagle. Is it a bald eagle?
It is a bald eagle. Yeah, you can't shoot a bald eagle. That's
back
a great
off,
point.
Soar. Come on now.
Great point, Brett.
You big meanies in talk radio. My top story is right there with the conference realignment. It's never dead, is it? It is never dead. Think of what from 11:45 to now has done. Just the mention of it, just the hope of it.
Yep.
And this is a little bit soul-crushing because the old saying of make your best offer first, well, the Tigers did.
Yep.
And I do applaud that. I do want to give a lot of credit to a lot of hard work behind the scenes that we didn't see, and a lot of meetings that we didn't see and didn't know about. But still, you either get in or you don't.
Yeah.
And the Tigers doesn't appear that this time or ever will be in the Big 12. How many great offers do you have to make? And at what point does FedEx and the Smith family and everybody else goes, I'm going to take no and go home?
Yeah, move on from it. I don't know, but this is a big one, and this could be what kind of sends it over the edge.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day is also Tiger Athletic related and is the news over the weekend. Sincere Parker charged with aggravated assault, an incident that happened in late May. Jason Munns has done great reporting on this really ever since the news broke on Saturday. This was a quote from his story. According to the affidavit, the woman reported the incident to police on June 12th. She told police it took place at Parker's apartment in downtown Memphis and that it began when the couple were arguing. She alleged Parker then, quote, pushed her, struck her in the face, then grabbed her neck and applied pressure, which impeded her ability to breathe normally. He appeared in court earlier today with his attorney, Arthur Horn, and they entered a non-plea deal. Parker's bond has been lowered from to $75,000 from the original $120,000, and Horn told reporters that Parker's bond has been posted and that he would be out of jail later this afternoon. He will appear again on July 29th. A quote from Arthur Horn: "We plan on fighting this. This has been a long, ongoing saga between he and his ex-girlfriend. I just hope the public will give us time to sort through it so the whole story does come out, because there are two sides to this, and right now it looks like my client, Mr. Parker, is a woman abuser, and that is not the case." That is from his attorney, Art Horn. So, I mean, we will see how this plays out. Obviously,
what the courts exist for.
What the courts exist for, innocent until proven guilty. We'll see how this plays out. He also added that as of right now, Memphis and the basketball program are kind of waiting to see how this plays out before they make any decisions about Sincere Parker's spot on this roster. But we'll keep you updated as more information comes out, but very limited on kind of what is out there right now.
We sure will. And please, everyone hear everything that I'm getting ready to say about this. Of course, the allegations and the story reads very, very bad. It's very unfavorable. We know that. And I know a lot of people, what if that was your daughter? For sure. I that's what the courts exist for. Also on that side, what if that was your son?
Yeah.
And there's more than one side to everything.
Yeah.
That's what they exist for.
Exactly.
I'm not placing blame or exoneration to anyone or anything today, but we know so often how from the initial allegation to the end result and whatever happens, how it ends up. My not top story. It was over the weekend. In the year in the majors for golf, it's complete. Rory at Augusta, Scotty at the PGA in Charlotte, J.J. Spahn at the U.S. Open at Oakmont, and champion golfer of the year, Scotty Scheffler. He's on his way to Memphis, and he made that clear a couple of times in that post-round press conference. Memphis. Is Rory on his way to Memphis? We'll find out. We'll ask Joe Tomac about that when we visit with him. But at least Scotty Scheffler, he mentioned it a lot. J.J. Spahn, he'll be here, and so it just leaves one of the three major winners this year. That leaves Rory. And on January 5th, remember I made a 2025 prediction that Scotty Scheffler would win golf's Grand Slam. Well, I was half right. That's kind of the story of my life, being about half right.
Well, hey, at least you're half and not completely wrong. So
Nobody's ever winning the Grand Slam.
No. It is so hard to do, and if Tiger can't do it, if a lot of these other greats can't do it, I don't think anybody can do it. But yeah, we'll definitely talk a lot of golf later at 5 o'clock. But that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's get to our first break, and when we return, we'll talk more about the Tigers and this Big 12 story. Keep those texts coming in. We have some texts. We'll read those on the other side as well. Text in Sissy's Log Cabin listener line 901-360-8255. But don't go anywhere. You listen to Sports Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about everything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys, beyond the bottle, Tito's has gained a reputation for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's and learn more at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roof Services. I wanted to take a minute and discuss advertising with you. There are so many websites that list the best service provider in your area. Even the BBB has an accredited list. You know the one thing they all have in common? A company like mine has to pay to get on that list. So that begs the question, can those lists be trusted? You know what can be trusted? History. We've been around for almost 30 years providing customers with the best service and the best products that we possibly can. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call. We'll come talk to you and let you decide for yourself whether or not we know what we're talking about. Five-Ash Roof Services. Best products, best warranties, and in many cases, the best price. We're fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Spring is in the air, and it's the perfect time to grill, chill, and save with Choates. Install a new generator, tankless water heater, or Carrier HVAC system, and you'll get your choice of a free green egg grill or 36 months no-interest financing. Stay powered during storms, enjoy endless hot water, and slash your cooling costs this summer with the high-efficiency Carrier system, and grill some slow-smoked barbecue on us. But hurry, the special ends soon. And if you're dealing with plumbing or electrical problems, Choates is here for you too. Give us a try and take $60 off your repair. Leaky faucet, clogged drain, broken outlet, lights flickering? Call Choates and save $60 on your plumbing or electrical repair service. Call 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com today. And remember, Choates, let our family serve your family.
Hey, everybody, want to get charged up? Come out here to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch. Test drive one of these new EV Blazers. They're nice. I mean, it's like riding into the future with these. And it's still Chevy truck season. All the Silverados are financing down to 2.9 for 72 months and thousands in cash and trade. New Equinox and Trailblazers with 1.9 financing. No payments for 90 days. And your good credit deserves it. Want pre-owned? Everything you want is here. Ram trucks, Jeeps, Tahoes, Suburbans, Traverse with the third row seating. If it's not here, ask Kevin or Jeff and they'll find it for you. Military, teachers, college students, healthcare, you get an extra $500 bonus. Where are you going for graduation, Mother's Day, spring and summer road trips? Better yet, what are you driving? Get it at All-Star Chevy. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah, Bartlett, or Carterville. It's got to be Olive Branch, people. So come out to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch today or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Air. We breathe it naturally. Simple, right? Not so fast. The air you breathe could be hazardous to your health. Don't guess. Be sure with a phone call to the Memphis Mold Inspector, the only licensed mold assessor in the Mid-South. Call the Memphis Mold Inspector to check the air quality inside your home and office. Protect babies, pets, new homes, old homes, employees, friends, loved ones, and you. Just call 901-292-7788 for clean air and peace of mind. 901-292-7788 for the Memphis Mold Inspector.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Starting to crank up in a couple of spots out here on some of the major outbound routes. Trying to get south of Memphis, watching that deal pretty good with that steady flow of traffic down 55, down past State Line Road. 240 right now looks good, getting on to 385 Billboards Parkway going outbound. Weimer's Jewelry, your diamond engagement ring headquarters this bridal season. Stop by and shop local at Weimer's Jewelry on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you live and local inside our Family Leisure Studios. We've been talking the news about the Big 12, everything going on with Memphis, and the Ross Dellinger story that said, in the most lucrative membership proposal in college sports history, Memphis has made a $200 million offer to enter the Big 12, sources tell Yahoo Sports. For now, it does not have enough support, but potentially sets a standard for future expansion. I mentioned it, getting a ton of texts on this topic. Obviously, everybody wants to talk about this. One texter texted in and said, has the SEC ever offered an invite to Memphis over the years? Brett, I'm sure you can answer that better than I can. I would say probably not.
No, it hadn't. And today, to see this kind of offer, I thought very fondly of the late, great George Lapidus, who I'm going to say about 19, at the very latest, 85 or 86, if it was that late.
Yeah.
He said after all the folly of the trying to get in the NFL, what should have been concentrated on and a bid made, make a bid to buy your way into the SEC. And that's when the SEC had 10 teams. Yeah. They would have listened. But no, there's never been any serious interest from the SEC for the Tigers. I don't know that an offer was ever made like this by Memphis. I'm almost certain it wasn't. But George would often say through a lot of years, instead of all this brain power and effort that was spent on NFL that just went close to nowhere. I mean, it was really never even, maybe once, outside looking in, maybe, if the Olympics, you might have been fifth.
Yeah.
What medal do you give the fifth place finisher? But George would always advocate and did, even in the 80s, still do it.
Wow.
put together an offer that they cannot say no to. But this would have appeared to me to be an offer you could not say no to, and they did.
Yeah. Sean texted in and said Brett McMurphy is reporting it was a $250 million offer to the Big 12. Brett McMurphy, this tweet that Sean is referencing, Big 12, quote, not interested in adding Memphis despite school offering $250 million in sponsorship to the league. Sources tell On3 Sports Memphis was trying to buy way into Big 12. Yahoo First report Memphis trying to get Big 12 invites. So a lot of money there being offered to the Big 12 from Memphis, still getting shot down. Dennis texted in, said, guys, U of M football is good, but not a national brand. Tigers would be Vanderbilt of the Big 12, not ready for prime time.
I don't know that I agree with that at all. Certainly not in the last few years. It would be exactly the same. I don't know that either, but I don't think it would be Vandy that has been historically bad for 90 years.
Yeah. Well, all I got to say, I anchor down. As we all know, this is a show that anchors down. But, I think it'd be tough. I think you look at UCF and Houston and Cincinnati and their move to the Big 12. It wasn't easy. And, they have struggled in the first couple of years of especially football play. Basketball has been a little different, obviously, for Houston. They have made it kind of look easy in basketball. But I think anytime you move up into competition, it's going to be challenging. But I do think the Tigers could be competitive in the Big 12.
Brian, do me a favor. I don't have it in front of me. Go back and read that first text again that referenced SEC, would you please?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, it says, has the SEC ever offered an invite to Memphis over the years?
That would be no.
Yeah.
I don't know if I made that clear enough.
Yeah. I think you made it clear. And another texter texted and said, the positive about the Tigers shows that they are committed and they have money that they can use to try to get into a conference. I mean, it's true. I mean, we talked about it, that you have to you gotta commend the Memphis athletic department and those higher ups of being aggressive and trying to get this.
You do.
Didn't work out.
You sure do. But I don't want to confuse effort with results.
Sure.
I do applaud very much. I know probably painstaking. And to get it to that level, okay, now we're at 250. What do you go to the ACC with now?
Yeah.
251?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, all you cards are out there.
Mm-hmm.
With the story a few years ago that Brett Yormark was in town, and he very much was in town.
Yeah.
We thought close then.
Yeah.
We thought we thought a couple of times close. At this point, how many times can the Big 12 just keep kicking you right square in the shins or higher?
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing. I mean, you talked about it earlier. I mean, it feels like we've been playing this game for 15 years now. Of kind of, hey, every couple of years we'll circle back to the Big 12 and see what the feeling is. And it feels like the feeling is the same. Ron texted in, and I think this is interesting because I think a lot of people are asking and saying, you look at what Memphis is offering. They call it a no-risk offer to the Big 12. And, what is the reasoning behind the Big 12 saying no to Memphis? Ron says, the reason Memphis is not in the Big 12 or ACC is crime. The conferences won't say that, though. I mean, what is it? What is the reason that these conferences are saying no? Because I think if you're offering $200 million, that's hard to say no to.
I don't know that, but that can't be dismissed either. Mm-hmm. And the news of the weekend, the Ole Miss player and others that were shot in Cordova. I know this. I'm told constantly by the Vibe crowd, crime's down, crime's down, crime's down. And that's a crew that will point to FBI statistics, and they almost never will point to an FBI statistic on anything else. But crime's down. Vibes are better. It's getting better. Crime's down. Well, I wish somebody would tell that to 3, 5, 13, and 24 and watch the first 3 minutes of all four of their 10 o'clock news, because somebody needs to tell them that crime is down.
Yeah, no.
We can't out-vibe ourselves on crime.
No, because you're right. You would not know that if you watch the news at night, because That's the leading story every single
And then
night,
to the 10, 20, and 190-day forecast.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, no, we're forecasting out everywhere for the weather. But keep those text messages coming in. We will continue to read those as they come in. Obviously, a very very big news day for Memphis in this attempt to join the Big 12. Something else that was out there that I wanted to make sure we got in, because I do think this is newsworthy, whether the Tigers get into another conference or not. But this was a quote from Ross Dellinger's story. Quote, with a massive gift from FedEx coming, the University of Memphis officials expect to share the full $20.5 million in rev share with athletes by next year. They have told Big 12 leaders. Any move out of the American would come with another steep price tag. The American exit fee is expected to be at least $25 million, a similar fee that SMU paid the conference upon.
Who agreed
last
to
year.
that?
Well, yeah, that is crazy in and of itself.
Well, I can answer that. It was the same AD, Laird Veach, that has agreed now to next year on opening day 2026, the newly remodeled Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium will have a capacity that's only 10,000 more than what you moved out of Crump Stadium to play originally at the fairgrounds for. Crump was 30. Now it's going back to 40. It was 50. Got up to 66. Got down to 58. Got down to 57. Now next year going to be a little over 40,000, and I think it very much could imperil the Liberty Bowl's future contracts with the SEC.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. I know that's something that has kind of been brought up, but I think
there was never going to be phase 3. No. There was never going to be phase 3 of the renovation of Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, and Laird Veach knew that, and he wanted it around that 39, 40, 41,000 number to build some season ticket value. Well, now it's all the stadium, even when sparkling new next year on opening day, is a little bit of an albatross.
That's exactly right, and in addition to that, the fee, which is crazy, $25 million. But the good news in that quote is that it sounds like a massive gift coming from FedEx, and that the Tigers expect to share the full $20.5 million in rev share by next year, which will definitely help the Tigers going forward in terms of what they can pay athletes and share. But a lot of news with this. We're going to continue to talk about it. Again, a reminder, obviously, David Cobb is going to join us at 4 o'clock. We'll talk about this a lot with him. And John Kurtz from the KC Sports Network, where he covers the Big 12. He's going to join us. We'll talk a lot more about this, what kind of went down, what this means. But as of right now, the Tigers have missed out on their chance, their attempt to try to join the Big 12 with this massive offer. But let's go ahead and get to another break, and when we come back, we're going to switch gears a little bit. We're going to talk some Major League Baseball, and then a lot more conversation about this in the 4 o'clock hour. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Sports Time.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11, here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Maria's Cantina in South Haven is not your average Tex-Mex joint because they're serving up Mexican with a twist. Maria's Scratch Kitchen is the most creative and diverse menu around. Beyond the traditional huge quesadillas, chimichangas, and fajitas, Maria serves up hand-rolled Latin egg rolls, Cajun and Creole items like catfish, gumbo, and boudin balls, as well as the best sandwiches and 8-ounce burgers in town. Wash it all down with a house margarita for only $5.50 and happy hour every day till 6. MariasCantina.com, 6717 Airways, Mexican with a twist.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar base. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to baste or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef. And she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper was more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with a perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Oh, tasty high note. Oh, hi, don't mind me. I'm practicing my new baritone sax. I just heard PayPal's paying for people's stuff every day for 100 days, and there's 10 million up for grabs. All you have to do is use PayPal checkout online. So there's never been a better time to buy a few things off the old wish list. Like this leaf blower! PayPal could pay for your purchase. The Great PayPal Checkout.
No purchase necessary ends July 18th. See official rules at paypal.com/thegreatpaypalcheckout/terms. Participating merchants only must use PayPal checkout online. Coverage of up to $100 and eligible purchases per card.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we give our students credit where credit is due. Credit for deciding in the middle of rush hour traffic to go back and get their bachelor's and a promotion. Credit for managing 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a full-time job to pursue an MBA. And credit for serving in the military by day so they can study cybersecurity at night. For over 75 years, we've been helping students receive the credit they deserve. With more than 135 degrees and certificates, students at UMGC can use prior learning or relevant experience to earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's. And graduate students can transfer up to 12 credits toward their master's. At UMGC, you'll find everything from online to hybrid courses and lifetime career services to scholarship opportunities, making your education journey flexible, fast, and affordable. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 13th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and skip the regular line at the airport and pay for speedy security. Imagine not having to quickly unpack and pack at the place you already came packed to. And wearing your shoes the whole time you're there? You can't put a price on that kind of luxury. Well, actually you can, and you paid for it. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for speedy security. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
We're going to talk some baseball here, but I do want to bring this up because maybe interesting, maybe it means something, probably doesn't, but Jonah Dillon just tweeted out a couple minutes ago that obviously, and we haven't been able to talk about it much, but obviously the American has rebranded this morning, and Jonah Dillon tweeted out that after the announcement earlier today that the American Conference was rebranding, most schools in the conference tweeted a graphic that says "Built to Rise" with the American logo and with the team logo, and in the caption said "a proud member of the American Conference." Every school except for 4 tweeted out that image. Tulane, USF, UAB, and Memphis did not tweet out that graphic saying that they were proud to be in the American Conference.
Well, we'll stay with this. We can get to baseball later.
Sure.
That's a good point and good catch by you. I would say of those 4, 3 are pretty open in we want to blow doors. UAB probably not as much for I won't say a lot of reasons, but some reasons, but not as appealing, I think, in the conference realignment world as those other 3. And where are those other 3 going to go? USF, South Florida, they have to look around and see what UCF did. I've seen a little bit of this today out there online in the Twitter sphere of why did UCF and Cincinnati get that call and the Tigers didn't. I don't know that I can really explain to you why, but I'm afraid if I have to, I don't think I could convince you anyway.
Well, yeah.
I think Orlando, and in the heart of Big Ten country, and had just played in a college football 4-team college football playoff, I think both of those and UCF claiming their national championship. I think those things spoke for themselves. Interesting now that ilk, maybe not that exact person, don't want to be that broad brush with it, but that ilk, that type of fan that would just blaze away at me if I would undercut, belittle UCF for that idiotic campaign they went on at that time in the name of showing conference loyalty. Now that type is questioning why'd they get in instead of the Tigers.
Absolutely. Yeah, they hung a banner, Brett.
And let me again give the example to anybody that's getting ready to hit the text machine. Please do, but I'm gonna head it off at the pass of, everybody claims a lot of national titles. Yes, Alabama, they claim some that if at the end of the season they wouldn't have been voted. But you know what? They were voted and they were awarded by a legitimate being, by a legitimate entity, whether it was UPI or AP or college football writers. It wasn't just out of the thin blue sky like UCF. Nobody other than UCF said we won a national championship at UCF. Nobody.
It was a completely different world when pretty much everybody except for UCF was claiming titles.
And a person that I knew one night at AutoZone Park, this person writes for a publication around town, and he just hates Alabama. And he's a big Tennessee football fan, and he was telling me that, that's hocus pocus, that, Alabama claiming, that AP in the year that if you'd have waited till after the bowls, they wouldn't. All that's true. They would not have been rewarded that if we did it anything resembling like even into the late 60s and early 70s. And I asked him, I said, if you were doing a resume of yours and the AP voted you Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year, but the Knoxville News Sentinel voted me Sports Writer of the Year, wouldn't you put that in your resume that in 2013 AP Sports Writer of the Year? That's what Alabama and some of those others with very puffy backgrounds and resumes, that's all they're doing. Nobody rewarded that to Central Florida, not one, but them. That's why it's still embarrassing for them.
It's something. It certainly is. I would love to know, though, when we kind of talk about, and something we'll probably never learn, but I would love to know how Houston, Cincinnati, and UCF, universities that shared conference with Memphis for a while, I wonder how they, obviously this didn't get to a vote, but what were their opinions on Memphis joining?
Best question asked today, Bryant. Best speculative question premise asked today. Did any of our old friends go to bat?
Yeah, because that's my question. Was Houston out there saying, hey, look, Memphis is a good university. They've been improving a lot. I think their athletics would help us a ton. Is UCF saying, is that Cincinnati saying that? Or are they saying, nah, we don't want anybody from the American in our conference. We're the Big 12 now, I'd love to know what those three, what their opinions on Memphis joining the Big 12.
Let's do this quickly. Let's go through the whole roster and see, just in a quick nutshell, what we think they may have said when it came voting time. Baylor. If they said no, we should cancel the basketball series with them in the next 10 minutes.
I'd say because they just signed a basketball series with Memphis, I'd say they
All right,
were pretty favorable.
Cool. Utah.
I'd probably say
I
they
have no
said
idea.
no. I'll lean no on that one.
Iowa State.
I'll say yes. I mean, Iowa State feels like they're always in the Liberty Bowl. They're always
Yeah.
around. They know Memphis.
They love Memphis.
They love Memphis. I'll say yes.
It's automatic sellout to have them here in the Liberty Bowl.
say
And I'm going through Phil Steele's list. I'm not going alphabetical. I'm going to Phil Steele. I'm in the Phil Steele world.
Great.
Arizona State.
I mean, Kenny Dillingham. If they went and asked Kenny about his opinion, I mean, I think it's a yes.
Kansas State. We'll ask that question.
We will ask Kansas
at 4:30.
State. We sure will.
In about 46 minutes. We'll ask Texas Tech. Just here.
I mean, they're just here. I'll throw them a bone. Why not?
TCU. I mean, TCU's been conference mates of the Tigers in a bunch of different alphabet soup conferences. Been to a bunch of Liberty Bowls.
I would hope so.
BYU.
I'd say no.
Cincinnati. Your question.
I mean, it's a big question. I don't know.
KU. I won't go through the rock chalk chant again today.
I'll say no.
Houston.
Maybe.
The national champs, UCF.
I'd probably say no. I don't know.
Said nobody but those dorks.
That's right.
Colorado.
I'd probably say no.
Oklahoma State. Well, I mean, ain't got a prayer of getting in.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State.
I don't know.
And sons of and heirs of T-Boone.
Yeah.
Arizona. West Virginia.
I'd probably say no.
And if $200 million doesn't ring your chimes, then
I don't know why, but every team that came from the Pac-12, I immediately said that they said no. I don't know why, but I don't know.
I think that's probably proper speculation.
Feels like they're way far out there, and that they would just say no.
But they got to go east to go to West Virginia.
True.
They got to go
Very
east to go to
true.
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
They got to go east to the national champions.
Right. And I don't even know if that's what it came down to is travel. I just think that they're way over there. They're just like, we don't want Memphis in our conference. I don't know.
Conference realignment makes strange bedfellows.
Woo.
Everybody's now with me on UCF, and we're ready to claw my eyes out during that time.
It's a beautiful thing, Brett. You know, what brings you together is one team going to another conference and then them turning you down. It just everyone hates that team now. So we'll keep you updated, and we'll talk a lot about this in this next hour. Don't go anywhere. David Cobb, CBS Sports, he's going to join us. So much to get to with David Cobb, but obviously we will start with this news of Memphis trying to get in the Big 12. David Cobb, he joins us next on Sports Time.
Cooper Systems is having a sales tax holiday super sale. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only. Buy any computer up to $1,500 and pay no sales tax. That's right, no sales tax. If you take advantage of Tennessee's tax holiday this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only. And to make the deal sweeter, Cooper Systems has slashed prices on everything in the store. That's right, name brands like Dell, Hewlett-Packard, Apple, Mac, Lenovo, Asus, Acer, and Cooper Systems' own Phoenix custom-built computers and gaming computers. And remember, you pay no sales tax. If you've been waiting to buy a computer, now is the time. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, prices have been slashed, and you pay no sales tax. So hurry into Cooper Systems, and you'll save a bundle on name brand computers and custom-built Phoenix gamers. Cooper Systems is in the Mount Moriah Office Park, or call 360-9679 to save a bundle and pay no sales tax. See store for details on tax holiday.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Do you know what Penny Hardaway and I have in common? We should both be in that building celebrating the best basketball players of all time. Of course, I'll have to buy a ticket to get in, but he should already be there. But seriously, we both surround ourselves with the best people we can find. We work hard to achieve our goals, and we are both among the best in our respective fields. At Fiveash, we can't win titles or get national awards, but what we can and do strive to do is give 100% of ourselves to give you the best product possible and one you can be proud of. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call at 901-367-0050, and we will do everything we can to provide you the best of everything. Fiveash Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
All 650 acquisition fee, 20 cents per mile excess mileage, must finance through KFA, K4's SEO 39747, MSRP 25840, Telluride SG 673 3650, MSRP 41155, K5 MSRP 30415, EV9 TG 0066993, MSRP 59775, includes all rebates and incentives, excludes TTNL with approved credit, dealer stock only, see dealer for complete details, offer valid through 8225.
Got my man Jeff Allen on the line. Hey Jeff, things heating up over there on Mount Moriah?
We got the hottest deals in town at Gossett Kia South, Mount Moriah, Randy. Listen to this. Get a new ride for $185 per month in a 2025 Kia K4 EX 39 MPG Highway. 2025 Kia K5 GT line, $288 a month.
And the vacation-ready 2025 Kia Telluride S front-wheel drive, $325 a month.
Yep, all $49.99 due at signing, 24 monthly.
And rates at 1.9 available, plus 2026 EV9 Lite rear-wheel drive, $419 a month, plus the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
That's right, Randy. So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawald Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawald is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. A little bit more traffic volume in the last few minutes. 240 East up by Poplar. Midtown traffic moving around just a bit more than it was a few minutes ago. I-40 still moving up by Chelsea. It's gotten heavier on the 55 bridge headed over towards West Memphis. Radar south of Memphis, at least it was earlier, on 55 down through certain parts of DeSoto County. Weimer's Jewelry, your diamond engagement ring headquarters this bridal season. Go by and see David at Weimer's Jewelry this week at 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with John Harden, weekdays from 11 to 1. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
We're about to talk to David Cobb from CBS Sports. Plenty to get to about all the news regarding Memphis athletics. We'll definitely start with the Big 12 news. Sean just texted in. It's a good point from Sean. We were talking about how every team would vote for Memphis. And Sean points out the West Virginia AD came from Memphis, so maybe it would be a yes for them. It's a very good observation. I think you're right.
Lynn Baker.
Yeah, you probably would get a yes from West Virginia. But David Cobb.
Need 11 more.
That's right. Yeah, no, it's where did the others come from? And maybe David can help us with that. David Cobb joins us now from CBS Sports, where he covers college football and college basketball. David, thanks so much for joining us. What did you make of the big news that the University of Memphis made a very aggressive pitch to try to join the Big 12?
Yeah, wow. Busy Monday in July. College sports, there is no off season anymore. This tends to be the time of year when the realignment news pops, and here we are, Memphis at the center of it today. I was shocked. I mean, not because Memphis tried to get into a power league. That's been the case for my entire life. But basically the fact that the Big 12 flat out emphatically rejected what was an incredible offer from Memphis, not because, oh, look, we're Memphis, we're bringing Penny Hardaway and a good football team. Like, yeah, obviously, like, that's part of it. But they offered to bring FedEx an AutoZone to the Big 12. They served two Fortune 500 companies up on a platter to a league that needs cash, and that league turned their nose up at it. And that's what surprises me about it. Not that the Big 12 didn't want Memphis. Like, we get it. There's a reason why Memphis has been left behind, and it's the perception and whatever conferences think they're above Memphis and all that, and whatever. Like, that's their prerogative. But the fact that in this era, in this day and time, when it's all about the money, that like Memphis actually presented a solution to not only fix the money to where, hey, you're not going to take a pay cut on your distribution if we come in here, but like, hey, we could actually increase your annual rights or your annual distribution to your members by $3 million and set you up with some long-term partners here on the corporate level, and that they flat out rejected that without even really considering it. That's what's surprising to me. I just didn't think the Big 12 was in a position financially to turn their nose up at something like that.
David, Ross Dellinger all day reporting $200 million. Now Brett McMurphy reporting $250. I'm just going to go with $200 million. If I put the numbers in my iPhone correctly and divide it by 16, that's $12.5 million at a time that you're literally cutting back on copying machine usage in an athletics department.
Yeah. I mean, would you rather have an infusion of Saudi Arabian money? Like, because the Big 12's turning over every stone. They're trying to go play basketball games in Mexico City. You're going to see them with logo jersey patches, and I mean they're turning over every leaf. And then here's one that is just dropped in their lap. That honestly, I mean, Memphis makes way more sense than UConn because Memphis plays football. Memphis is far more geographically aligned with the rest of that league than UConn. They make way more sense than Gonzaga because they play football. And that, I know this doesn't matter as much in this era, but I mean, Memphis is a top 75 media market. You're getting new eyeballs on the league, which is only it's not going to hurt you to have Memphis when you go to renegotiate your rights deal. And then look, you got a football program here that for over a decade now has been one of the premier programs in the Group of Five. A basketball program that isn't achieving at the level it wants to, but that is still, respectable. So I don't know. I just because I just didn't think Memphis was capable of this. I didn't know that Memphis had this level of buy-in from a corporate standpoint, because you go through that Ross Dellinger article, and not only are they able to offer this really sweet package to the Big 12, but the one of the details in there suggests that they're going to be close to $20.5 million on the revenue sharing next year, which is really impressive for a team that doesn't have a huge media rights deal from the American the American as it's now known. If I were the ACC and Jim Phillips, I'd be thinking, man, I wish my schools would get on board with this. But I think what it is, it's less about the conferences. It's less about Brett Yormark at the Big 12 or Jim Phillips at the ACC, because those guys want the money. Like they would be down for this, I would imagine. But it's the schools, it's the university presidents, it's the sort of, hey, we like feeling like we're in an exclusive club, and sort of we want to feel, it's like the being on the playground as a kid, and you want to be a part of the cool kids club, and somebody shows up and begs to be a part of your group. It kind of makes you feel a little bit superior to say, no, we're good, and that's sort of what this feels like.
David, please, any reference to Jim Phillips, please say Jim Phillips, Ph.D. That's what he prefers on his lower third chyron for any TV hit, and I think we should practice that in all radio hits as well.
Well, you can refer to me as David Cobb, Master of Science.
I will, right. David.
Sure will.
I will. David Cobb from CBS Sports with us. I'm kidding. David, the Tigers made their best offer. I say this as serious as anything I've ever said. I wish I didn't have to preface it that I mean this wholeheartedly. If I'm Greg Sankey, I call Ed Scott today, make it 300 and welcome in.
Wow. I mean, wouldn't that be incredible? That's
make it 3 and you got a deal. SEC. Yeah. And boy, Brian, then we would really have strange bedfellows then, wouldn't we?
No kidding. Oh, my goodness. Wouldn't that be great for the Memphis media market? Can you imagine? Wow. You could have the FedEx SEC championship game, the AutoZone SEC baseball tournament, the Lowe's SEC basketball tournament. I mean, the list goes on. But yeah, it's crazy because it's kind of like, where do you go from here? And I thought this was interesting.